Hello everyone. I'm just coming on here to share a few things, a little bit of an energy update, plus just some themes that I'm noticing right now. And I'm going to share a little bit about something that I recently moved through and possibly do like a little exercise to tie it all in, because this is going to be a lot circulating around the theme of power. So I recently just came back from like a very spontaneous out of the blue trip to Florida with my family. And honestly, it was just the reset that I really didn't realize that I fully needed until I was there and afterwards. And I just gained so much awareness from stepping away and being in a new environment and also being in the warm weather. It was really nice. But I learned so much in such a quick time because I also moved through a really huge test while I was there. And it just felt really good to kind of move through that there and experience what I needed to experience while I was there. So, you know, I'd been moving through just like a ton of resistance, and just, it felt like, I'm going to do like a separate video on how we can shift through resistance and how we can shift our energy, because I have so many little tools and things that I learned recently while I was moving through a lot of resistance. And I feel like there are two themes that are really coming up right now are themes around power, around worthiness, and also resistance. So that will be a whole separate video, but right now we are in a powerful eclipse. I love that there's these like fractals of light that are like floating around, little angels. But we are in a powerful eclipse right now. Now I really don't want to bind this video to a time, because I really feel like this video is timeless. And I feel like as I, you know, a lot of the things that I channel are timeless. And I'm realizing that more and more, because I have a whole video on the April energy that I channeled from the 12 and the Pleiadians, which I'm just going to share a little bit about who they are. So the 12 are a very high dimensional consciousness of light beings. They're a council of light that I channel and I work with. And the Pleiadians also come in. They almost come in as a whole, come together with different energies. And these are all very high vibrational light beings of the highest light. And I personally, you know, I want to start sharing a little bit more about my journey in channeling, and also like teach a little bit more on, you know, different little takeaways that you can have. But personally, I had to go through a lot of shifts within my body. I had to move through a lot of shifts. I had to raise my vibration in order to be an energetic match to be able to channel them. So they're very high frequency. And so that is where a lot of my messages come from. They come from either the quantum realm, source consciousness, source beings, I will call them. And I just wanted to share that with you all, because a lot of you are probably like, what is she talking about? But anyways, where was I? I channeled the message for the month of April and I never posted it. And I channeled it at the beginning of the month, and I realized that because I re-listened to it yesterday, and I realized because it's meant to be shared right now. So I will be sharing that on YouTube, and I'll share it on Instagram as well. But I feel like the energies of a lot when I bring through a channel transmission is that it's timeless. It's not meant to be bound to a time, a specific date. So I really want this to be timeless. However, we are in the current energy of eclipse. And now I'm not an astrologer. I don't know like a ton about astrology. I know that I don't resonate with a lot of old paradigm, we'll call it astrology. I feel like, and I know that we are stepping into a new paradigm of spirituality. We're stepping into a new paradigm in the world. And so astrology is shifting, you know, we are changing. So I don't hook into a lot of the old perpetuated things that people say around eclipses. I personally, what happens is I channel and I tune into the energies. And a lot of times they do line up with astrology. So what I've been getting with this eclipse, this solar eclipse, which is just a really powerful time of creating our reality, is that the energies have been really potent and they've been really powerful. We are going through a lot of activations and a lot of upgrades, and we've been integrating a new template. We've been integrating a higher version of ourselves. And so you may have been feeling this since the equinox and moon, and that you've been kind of like in and out of this new state of kind of awareness and consciousness, and this, for lack of a better term, this higher version of yourself, this higher fractal, this new template. Okay. And a lot of themes that may have been coming up for you in the past few weeks leading up to this eclipse are possibly themes around power dynamics, power, feeling powerless, worthiness, perhaps even noticing and being able to recognize and having awareness around where you're giving your power away, where you are accepting less than you deserve. Really sit with that, okay? And having to release old patterns, old things coming, like really old stuff coming to the surface, to release old outdated ways of being, crumble old systems within yourself. And perhaps even moving through a lot of resistance towards the things that you know you need to be doing. And I'll talk a lot more about resistance in another video and a little bit in this, but because that's a whole other topic. But what's happening with this is that this eclipse, it's asking you to step into your power. It's asking you to be bold and step into this next level that you've kind of been merging and integrating with. This is an opportunity for quantum leaps. It's an opportunity for destined changes, breakthroughs, shifting into a new cycle. We are actually shifting into a new paradigm. This is where we're stepping into that new paradigm, a huge expansion energy. And really stepping into a higher version of yourself. So I'm really seeing that the energies are really accelerating in whatever way that is destined for you. So things are accelerating. We're moving into like a higher, faster bandwidth of time with this energy. And you may feel that you've been on this threshold between this old and the new. And really now we're kind of being pushed through this birth and the birth canal into this new way of being. Okay, so now I know why this thing that I channeled in that update needed to be shared now, and I'm actually going to share it today. But this is an accelerating time, an acceleration of energies, an acceleration of upgrades, and so it's really linking us up to this 5/5 portal. And so there's a lot of shifts that are going to be happening, a lot of upgrades, a lot of life upgrades, a lot of life changes that potentially can happen in a very quick amount of time. So you may have had to move through some really quick lessons, quick tests and clearings in order to up-level you and prepare you for this upcoming cycle of what you're stepping into. It's preparing you for what that thing you want, that thing that you've been wanting to manifest. It's right in front of you, okay? And so this is a really powerful cycle to asking you to be bold, dream up the impossible, dream bigger, okay? And step into that next level, because what you've been asking for is just, or even accepting worthiness, okay, is less than what is possible for you. So really allow yourself to stretch beyond the current into what truly could be possible for you, okay? And you need to, in this old paradigm, in this new paradigm, sorry, we really need to let go of our personal timeline of when we think things can happen, because things can happen quicker than the thing that you want, or than how in this new energy, it can happen a lot quicker than you think it can, than your ego thinks it can, and then all the steps that you create in your head that you need to take in order to get the thing. When we are living in vibrational alignment, which sometimes comes with waiting things out until you feel an openness and expansiveness into doing the thing, okay? There's a time to work through it and you know, maybe take the steps out of your comfort zone, but there's also, there's a time to do it that lines up perfectly with divine time, and you feel that openness and expanded energy. And so the Pleiadians and the 12 actually have been since last May, and a lot more recently, have been teaching me, and I've been channeling through these teachings on vibrational alignment and living in vibrational alignment. Now, they keep telling me it's probably part of a book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that freaks me out. But yes, I've been channeling a lot of these teachings that I will eventually share with you all. But it's this new way of living in this new paradigm, essentially, and of living in vibrational alignment. And sometimes that means trusting and waiting for the right time. And that can be scary for us, right? We don't need to push through and muscle through things anymore. Sometimes we need that effort if you're breaking away out of your kind of resistance, your comfort zone, yes, but there is a time where things become effortless. And now it's a whole other topic that's a tangent, and I'm trying to stay on track because I tend to do that. So I know personally, I know that the universe is right now, when you are on a path, when you're on mission, and when the thing is right there and you're on target, the universe will crumble things so freaking quickly that are not in alignment, or those tests that you take, you'll be bounced out of that so quickly right now. Which is such a blessing and such a gift. If it feels uncomfortable or painful, just know that it's actually such a huge gift, and I can share that with you and promise you that right now. So I want to ask you a few questions. What themes and patterns around power have been coming up since the equinox? What themes and patterns have been coming up for you? What resistance has been coming up for you? What doubts, what fears has been coming up for you since around the equinox? Where have you given your power away? Where have you accepted less than you deserve? Okay. Who are you giving your power away? Is it a person at work? Is it a coworker? Is it someone, who is it, a higher up, someone in your own mind who you perceive is on a pedestal? Is that who you're giving your power away to? Where have you accepted less than you deserve? Okay, this can come up in different areas of your life. I'm going to need to take a sip of water. Who have you been giving your power away to? So really sitting with that, what and who. What has been draining you of your life force energy? So when you feel like something is literally sucking your soul out, okay, it feels draining. It's just like, and this can be really confusing because it can feel like it might be multiple things, but it ultimately is like a root cause. There's something rooted there. And I can share that with you through the experience that I recently went through. So is this something or someone that perhaps you need to let go of? Is it a sign that it's just not right now? Like it's just the timing's not right and you're kind of pushing through mud and muck to get it? Or that maybe you just need a break from that person. Maybe you need a break from that thing, that action that you're taking. But a lot of times what is literally if it feels like you're being pulled and sucked of your energy, there's probably a good chance that it's something that you need to drop. And so taking a break and distancing yourself from that thing or that person, especially if it can be like a person, is really going to be beneficial to help you understand what it is, okay, and what your next action needs to be. So it's really important that you know the difference between all of that. So with this new energy and this new earth that we are really moving through and stepping into, it is so quick how the universe and how your higher self, your light team, will literally shut something down and crumble something that is not in alignment, okay? And I recently moved through a situation. Actually, there's a couple tests that I've been through in the past month. They've been really intense. Not all of them, sorry, but this one particularly was really intense. Or it felt intense, but my light team keeps telling me that this is like so minimal and it's like an initiation into the next level of work that I'm stepping into. They say it's like, this is just nothing, but it feels like a lot to me right now, or not anymore. But deep down, I knew something was off, okay? I knew something wasn't right, or it was the half the thing. Yet, and I've been through this before, this kind of similar opportunity or thing came up before, and I completely said no to it because it wasn't right. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'm supposed to, I had all these excuses in my head, okay? So I knew something wasn't right, and it was really disguised as a shiny object. And there's no other way of me putting that with you. It was disguised as a shiny object. Okay. And now I'm going to keep this pretty basic because I'm not really ready to go deeper with this, but, I'll tell you that it had to be so freaking loud that, like, my guides were like, it had to be loud in order for you to finally get it, for you to finally get the lesson, in order for you to finally reclaim your power from all these external things, okay? It had to be loud for me to finally be true to myself and finally learn and understand the energies and be able to teach this with you all, essentially. But I had to have this happen in order to stay true to me, in order to stay true to the guidance that I'm receiving, the messages that I receive, and my highest path. And I have to be patient. I've been really patient on my path, I'll tell you that. And it hasn't been easy to be so patient. And I'll dive deeper into that another time. But after making a really difficult decision, and processing all the emotions and things that I had to work through, all this patterns, all the worthiness, all the power, the things, and the frustration that I felt because I knew I gave my power away. Honestly, I think I was more frustrated that I gave my power away than anything. I think that was like the big, like, slap in the face. But I reclaimed it. I reclaimed the power. I corrected that karmic balance in speaking my truth. I ended up speaking my truth, so that was good. But afterwards, after I make the difficult decision, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I dodged a major bullet. Holy crap. I like closed down such a very old karmic cycle, and I passed the test. Like, all I heard is like, you passed, like you did it. and you had to go through it because I was guided to it for a reason. And I was like, why did you make me do this? Like, they're like, you needed to go through this. You needed to experience this. And so I'm still integrating a lot of lessons that came through from that. But this lesson, this test was such a gift, and it was the biggest blessing. And I will tell you that right now. I gained so much from this experience in such a short amount of time. And it also made me realize, like, what kind of parent and mother do I want to be? How do I want to, if you're a parent or a mother, it's starting to look at things, and even if you're not, it's just your inner child, like you owe it to your inner child, right? It's starting to look at things from a different perspective. I have someone who is watching me, and she's her own person. These children are so different now. She's her own leader, but she still is watching me, okay? And she's asking me, she's always asked of me since I conceived of her to step into my power, and that's what she initiates me into. And so, do I want my child to be part of something that doesn't feel good, or to be around someone that doesn't feel good? And completely shut down and ignore her intuition around things for what? This thing felt like life sucking, and it sucked into other areas of my life. And I didn't realize what it was until I had to move through it, right? And I have to realize and recognize that now I'm a leader of a child. I'm not her leader. We are equals. Her and I are equals. I have so much to learn from her, but I have to see it as like, I'm her mother. And what do I want her to, go into things and when she feels off? No, I want her to trust her gut and honor that decision. So things will cut off really quickly when, you have to trust the vibration that you feel beyond the words. And even if other people don't see it, even if other people are like, oh, that thing's so great, or you should do that, or that person's so amazing. It's like, if you don't feel right and you don't feel right about it, you have to trust in that, okay? And I've been through a lot of lessons with that, but I've ultimately had to trust that. When the external doesn't match the words, or the vibration doesn't match the words of the external, you have to trust that in this new energy right now, because this new energy is asking you to be very discerning, okay? So I want to share a couple things. So I want you to know that no matter what you feel is at stake right now, no matter if there's a financial obligation, or how difficult it may be to walk away, it's time to no longer give your power away to anyone, okay? I promise you that you will be taken care of in ways unimaginable, and that you are not limited to one single thing, okay? The universe will provide for you in ways that you cannot even imagine or fathom of right now. You are truly an infinite being of light. You are limitless, okay? So if it's scary to walk away because of X, Y, and Z and all these things you think you need, I want you to know it's time for you to no longer give your power away, okay? And to trust that you will be supported in closing those old doors, okay? Trust that you will be supported in stepping into your power. Trust that you'll be compensated in ways even greater than you could imagine, okay? By remaining true to yourself and reclaiming your power. Okay, so if it means you have to walk away from a job, if it means that you have to walk away from a person or a situation, trust that you'll be taken care of. I know it feels scary, but there's so much for you on the other side of that leap. So a few different things that I want to share with you. A few key things that I learned is that both tests and miracles come in at the 11th hour, okay? Right before you're about to experience the thing or step into that thing, receive the manifestation, tests and miracles will both come in at the same time, okay? So you have to sometimes move through that test of like, oh, is this the thing? Or is this half the thing? Or am I really needing to own up my worth and step into my power, okay? Because that thing's gonna come in right away or very shortly after. The lag between thought and manifestation is starting to shorten a lot. I want you to know that and understand that right now, that we're really creating our reality. Quantum leaps come in many forms. Sometimes we think it's just this effortless thing. Sometimes we think it's this effort or this action. Sometimes turning something down or saying no, walking away is the action step. That is exactly the quantum leap that is going to happen. Okay. So it can come in many different forms. So sometimes that step that you need is to close down the old door, close down the old karmic cycle, and reclaim your power and really step into that higher path. Another thing I want to share with you is that you don't need to blink in order to blink. You don't need the thing in order to do the thing, okay? That is our ego's limitations. That's our ego's stories. We are limitless. There's infinite possibilities that exist. We're not limited to something, okay? Right now, what's right in front of you is not all that is. And so another part of this teaching that I've been channeling and learning through experiences, because I get the message and then I channel it and then I experience it a lot of times. And I've just been integrating learning and from these teachings a lot and operating in this vibrational alignment way. So it's part of these teachings that I've channeled with the Pleiadians and the 12 is that this concept of vibrational alignment. And when you are in true alignment, you are able to bypass steps, unnecessary steps that you think you need to do, okay? But I'm telling you right now that you don't need that in order to get that, because just live through that teaching that they've shared with me. So right now it's time to reclaim your power. This is the energy that we're stepping into. This is the new paradigm. This is the new earth energy. And this is where it really begins. There's a lot of that's about to change. And it's time to really tune into your own channel, to your own higher self, and trust the messages that you get, even if it means no and it feels scary to do so, or if it feels yes and that feels scary to do so. Stay true to yourself, okay? Stay true to yourself and your highest path. So I'm going to do something really quickly with you right now. Something that I actually am planning. I'm relaunching a lot of things. I'll be channeling a lot of these guided activations because I have been hosting these events and these activations monthly, and I'm taking a break from it possibly this month. But I'm working on like a whole library of channeled activations and meditations. And also because a lot of people, when they buy the replay for what I'm doing, whenever I've hosted an event, is that they'll do a month later. I've just received a message from someone who did it literally a month and a half later and said that it was the perfect time for her to receive that activation and the lesson, and it like helped her so much. So there's a timing for everything and divine timing for everything. So I feel like a lot of the work that I do is timeless. So I'm going to try to make it in a way where you can get it at any time. So this, I'm going to do a whole channeled reclamation of your power. But right now I just want to do a quick exercise with you all in something you can do on your own. It's very simple, but just closing your eyes. And I want you to take a really deep breath into your heart space. And just really exhaling out and just beginning to really like use your breath to calm your nervous system and be more into this moment and drop into your hearts. And I want you to imagine that, just take a deep breath. And I just want you to sit here and say this to yourself. I reclaim my power, my light, my soul fragmentations. You can leave that out. Just call in your power, your light, through all directions, time and space. I call back my power. And I want you to sense and just imagine and feel that all these energies that you have extended outside of you are now, all this energy, this power, this light is now returning back into you. So you may feel how you've been stretched in multiple different ways. Just notice and feel how that feels in your body. And just imagine, see, and sense all this light, this energy, this power, all coming back into your energy field, into your body. So that you are more in this now moment and that your energy, your power and light is returned to you. And this is so simple, and it's something that you should do multiple times throughout the day. Just take a deep breath. And you can even say something beforehand. I like to do that too, is like, I now release, remove any attachments, power or light, or anyone else's energy that I've taken on. I release, remove up to source. And I call back my power. I call back my energy. I call back my light. And as I was doing this, and you can just feel that like hug coming in, or see how it feels for you. But as I was doing this, I was reminded of something that sometimes if you feel like there's a person that you tend to give your power away to, perhaps it's like a manager, I don't know, whatever it is for you. I want you to take time before you respond, before you say yes. If you are a person that always says yes to someone when you know after it doesn't feel good and you get drained and it doesn't feel good to say yes, I want you to pause before saying yes or consenting to anything. And I also want you to know that at any point in time, you have your right to say no, okay? You don't have to bind into things that you don't agree with. You don't have to do things that you don't agree with. So feel into what feels right in the moment and trust in that. So I hope you all have a great day and happy eclipse, and see you soon.